All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is right here, right now. We got Colorado's finest. We got Mizta Sandman right here, live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good, bro. How you doing, man? Blessed. Thank you for having me, man.
You are most certainly welcome, man. I'm doing great on my end, man. I gotta say, it is an honor to actually have you on the radio station airways, man. You are a Colorado legend, bro.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, man. Real talk.
But I know you're a busy guy, Mrs. I'm just gonna dive right into this interview. But I gotta ask you, man, like, what actually inspired you and sparked you to actually get into the music industry initially?
It was I used to always, my mom and them used to always be having like these parties and bringing the Ohio players, can function, different people, Earth, Wind, and Fire to the house after concerts. So I think I picked up that when I was a real kid, trying to pick it up, and I started wanting to be a part of that entertainment world. That's what actually turned me on, and then I started listening to actually a lot of the rappers coming out of the East Coast and the West Coast, LA Dream Team, that actually started inspiring me to want to be a part of music. So I started writing probably about 10 to 12 years old.
And I gotta ask you, man, with that writing that you did when you were 10 to 12 years old, did you ever actually, like, obviously growing up a little bit, did you ever put those rhymes actually, like, did you actually, like, perform those rhymes at all, or is that just something you wrote as a kid?
Those are just things I wrote as a kid. And I used to have my brother and a couple other people writing for me, kind of ghostwriting, because I was still confused on how bars went, on how different patterns and hooks went. So I needed some type of, assistance and guidance in that.
And also, man, in the year 1997, you actually released the album titled "Don't Sleep on." Sorry, released the album "Don't Sleep" on Breakthrough Entertainment. I was wondering, how did that record deal come to be for you? And of course, what was it like just making that album?
Man, it was good. Actually, what happened was I was on the run doing a lot of things. I was caught up in the gangs from LA during that time, and I recorded it, and then I was in and out of jail while recording. So when that actually came about, I actually had secured a deal with Breakthrough Records, and then I went to jail. I had to go do 2 years. So prior to me going to jail, a lot of it was already recorded. And to my amazement, though, it actually sold like 25,000 copies, and those was those hard scan copies where you had to physically go into the store to get them. So it was actually pretty good, and actually stacked a pretty penny off of it, got out of jail, and was able to do some shows, and just kind of the laws in the streets and being caught up in that gang world. That's what actually happened and transpired with that.
And I gotta say as well, man, that is a phenomenal, just a phenomenal record, man. I remember back in the day, my buddy actually had a copy of that record, and we actually used to sit around and jam to it, bro. I gotta say, front to back, phenomenal record. But my favorite is actually Summer Breeze. I love that track.
Oh, that's wild, Immortal, because I've been a supporter of you for a while, and I didn't even know that. Yeah, Summer Breeze was a crazy track, man. That was a crazy track.
But also as well, man, you were actually a part of a group as well called Ghetto Nation. I have to ask you, what's the story behind that group? And of course, how did you actually meet the other members?
My brother, Stan Vinyl Gummy, he actually told me, man, we should do this project, and I'm like, well, what kind of project is it? And then so he kind of feeds me some, we should do these people from different states and from different neighborhoods that could actually represent on the record. So I said, okay, well, let's find out what we got. So our brother Swift, and then we met D-Mac. He's from Rolling 60s out of L.A., out of South Central. And we had some guys from Colorado, 303, JoJo, Riri, she's a female rapper, and Bond Supreme. It was originally supposed to include Kingdom, B Black, and a few other, Adrian Jones, which is Bump Chill. But a few of them had other things going on with their record label, so we just put the 14 or 15 guys we had and just created the Ghetto Nation. Now, some of them wrote for Michael Jordan's commercial, I Want to Be Like Mac, I Want to Be Like Mike, and that was Demetrius Ross. Another guy, Lethal, he's a blood from Park Hill out of Colorado. He wrote for CC Peniston, Finally. So we put him on there as well, and we just combined everybody and then separated everybody with my brother Scrap, and we just put 3 or 4 people on each different song to actually complete the project.
And I gotta say, man, all you guys have phenomenal chemistry, man. Just doing what you guys do. I gotta say, man, I wish you guys would have made more than one record, but at the end of the day, man, I gotta say, man, Ghetto Nation and that album that you guys did was absolutely phenomenal. The first one, I believe, it was actually called, I think it was Veterans Day, but if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was called Veterans Day. We was going to make another one, DJ Immortal, but what transpired is there was a few murders that happened. People went to the penitentiary. Lethal, the guy that wrote for CC Pennisty, got ran over by an RTD bus, and he was paralyzed. He's still paralyzed right now, but he's doing a lot better. They're just those everyday life events that started to transpire that kind of put us in a bad spot, so we couldn't do another volume 2.
But I gotta ask as well, man, just pertaining to the Veterans Day record, like, what was it like just being in the studio recording that? Because in my personal opinion, that's a piece of Colorado history, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it was dope, man, because nowadays people just actually record their verse and send it in through email. But being in the studio when you around people, it creates a different vibe, because you had to have a California vibe with California artists here and Colorado artists to be able to, we wanted to just implement every piece of the culture, not specifically just Colorado, but just a piece of everywhere where people were from, just to have it on this and reflect on that project for Ghetto Nation.
And also as well,
we're going to work on part 2 soon with different artists, though.
I gotta ask you, when you say you're working on part 2, like, what can our listeners actually expect from that particular record? Because I gotta say, that actually sounds like a phenomenal project.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to try to reach out to, like, Spice One. I'm going to try to reach out to Cocaine. I'm going to try to reach out to JT, the Bigger Figures. A couple artists from Cali, some from the East Coast, some from Detroit. I want to try to tap into multiple markets. Definitely keep Colorado as the base with 5 to 7 artists, but just go out and venture into different states and try to get a couple of their top tier or veteran artists to try to accentuate or complement that project.
I gotta say, those sound like some actual phenomenal additions to that album, man. I don't know if hip hop can handle that, bro. I'm telling you, that sounds like a hip hop overload, in my personal opinion.
Man, I'm hoping we can try to pull it off, man. I'm gonna try to reach out to some of the guys and see if we can try to put together. But I think it's definitely needed, because a lot of that is needed in the game right now, because a lot of West Coast, East Coast artists, even the Midwest artists from Ohio that was doing things like that back in the day, people didn't pay too much attention to. But they should be paying attention now, because there's so much of a gap in the game.
And also as well, man, on March 20th, 2020, because I know we're jumping ahead in the timeline here quite a bit, but I noticed as well that you were actually featured in the Source magazine. I was wondering, how did that opportunity arise? And of course, how does it feel to actually be in one of hip-hop's biggest publications?
You know what? It was surprising, man, but I was definitely happy, because you always reach for those pinnacles to try to get to the source, to try to get to your raps and different things of that nature. It felt real good, man, to be acknowledged on that landscape. Now things are looking up since that article. I've been getting hit up a lot for different shows, but because of the COVID-19 shutting it down, now they're actually trying to reopen. So I'm actually supposed to be going on, what's his name? Not Red Alert, not K-Slade, but Funkmaster Flex within the next couple of months to go do something. So a lot of opportunities are jumping up.
And I gotta ask as well, pertaining to that publication, like, did you randomly just wake up one day, get a link sent to you, and all of a sudden you're in the source, or did they come to you and ask you? Like, I never really knew how that worked. Did they can just write the articles, or do they have to come to the artist first and ask permission?
Yeah, they actually have to come to you to get the permission, because they have to go through a barrage of bulletins to make sure what they're writing about is the correct thing, so media doesn't, it goes through that process of approval or denial. Yeah, you can put this in there, or you can't put this in there. So it happened about 2 weeks prior to it actually coming out. They sent the question list and was like, "Are you excited?" I didn't know where it was going to be at in there, and then when they did put it out there, it was a good article. I just thought it was going to be some crazy penmanship. You know how sometimes it is, where the wrong information is displayed and then you look crazy.
Yeah, most dev, especially with those publications, man. They write so much in a day. It almost seems sometimes it's sloppy. They just slap it together, right? But
yeah.
I gotta say,
yeah,
that
exactly,
sounded like
bro.
a phenomenal article, man. I actually took the time to read it, and they most definitely did their homework.
Yeah, they really did, man. And I'm trying to get my guy, Deuce McGuire, plugged in with them right now since he does a lot of my engineering and things like that. And I think Chris Christ, he's actually his manager, so trying to get them plugged in on that too for a lot of write ups and different things of that nature.
And also, as well, one of my favorite newer releases from you is actually Concrete Rose. That I'm going to be spinning right after this interview, but I have to ask you, tell our listeners a bit more about that song, and of course, what's the meaning behind it? That way they can wrap their head around it just a little bit more before they actually hear this release if they haven't already.
Yeah, Concrete Rose, man, featuring Federo, man. That's an amazing track. It actually just is based on, we all come from the struggle. You included, DJ Immortal. You come from nothing, trying to create something, and when people don't believe in you and people try to put you down and shit on you and do different things to you, and then you have to come from nothing to something where you have to constantly continue to grow through the cracks in the concrete to be able to be somebody that's appreciated and valued. So it's just basically breaking it down from the substance of nothing and just the survival of where you come from by watering it and just continue to water your mind and your mental and your seeds to be able to grow through the drama, everything that you ever encounter. You just have to grow through it, grow past it, and grow up with it.
And I gotta say, this release is absolutely phenomenal. Me personally, I've actually purchased this on Amazon. I've listened to it a lot, but I know just some of our listeners might not have had the opportunity to listen. So when you guys do hear this after the interview and you like it, make sure you add that to your favorite playlist, man, and spread the love.
Yeah, I appreciate you, DJ Immortal. Yeah, it's a phenomenal record. I think it caught Federo and myself off guard and my partner Dave. So we're just trying to keep pushing, man. And we got about 13 or 14 new songs about to drop this year, so we just trying to stay busy just to try to, keep going. We're trying to get out there to Canada to come visit you, man.
Hey man, we most definitely can make that happen, man. Right now, COVID is kicking our ass, man. We're actually in a we're actually in a lockdown for the third time since COVID started, man. Our premier is just I don't want to get into politics, but he's stupid. You know what I mean? It's he's not really helping. So hopefully, this is the last lockdown and we can get them borders open so we can have talented artists like you come back and do a concert. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm actually forgetting what concerts feel like.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It don't feel the same when you're stuck at home and watching it on TV. It is not the same.
Oh, I'm most definitely not, man. I like leaving a concert and having to listening to your ears being like, look, are my eardrums popped or are they gonna come back? Like that's what I miss. Watching on TV
Yeah,
ain't the same.
that's the good stuff right there. Yeah.
But I gotta say, hopefully, man, whenever this lockdown does end, man, we most definitely can try to make something happen. I know a couple promoters out here in Ontario that I can try and get you guys linked with, and hopefully, we can get you down to get you down to Ottawa, man. About 1 million people in that city, and they all love hip hop, so we most definitely can try and make that happen.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. I'm a big supporter of your stuff, man, and a lot of people in Colorado actually support you as well, like young Lil Fat from Long Beach. That's one of my partners too. And a lot of the guys from the east side of Denver, from the Five Points of Denver that are artists like Eastside Julie, the guys in Aurora like L Keys, Lil Bad, A Coach Rayco, and a lot of other artists, and Trev Rich and them from Park Hill. Definitely got to get you connected with them, man, to try to run it up for the state a little bit, bro.
Hey, most definitely. If you send them my way, we most definitely can link it up and actually make it possible.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
And also, man, you have actually done some phenomenal work with an individual by the name of Ty Frazier on his song Lucid. I was wondering, how did yourself and Ty get connected? And of course, what was it like just working with him on Lucid?
Ty is he's like a young musical genius, man. He just is real hungry for knowledge. I actually met him when he was going to be a senior in high school over Symes Carter House. And Symes Carter is the DJ and producer for Lil Flip. He had just moved here from Mexico. They wanted to lay a track, so I paid for some time, let them lay a track. Watched them grow up a little bit in the game, and then it just became time for us to do a song. And we got a couple of other tracks that we're about to do as well. Ty he's definitely somebody to be on the lookout as a producer and an artist. He's really thirsty, and he put together some good hip hop.
Oh, I most definitely agree, man. That song is definitely phenomenal.
Yeah, man, you got to check out the other one too. It's he's got a number of them, man. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to your email.
Hey, man, most definitely. If you send it my way, I most definitely will make sure I get that spinning for sure.
Yeah.
And also, your most recent release is actually titled The Chosen. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that phenomenal project. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of that particular single today?
Well, The Chosen can be actually streamed anywhere. Spotify, Audio Mac. It can be streamed. You can buy it on Amazon and Target, wherever, online, or in stores with physical copies. The Chosen was just a project. You know, a lot of people choose to be in the music game, but some of us are just chosen to be a part of the game, and I feel like I'm one of the chosen ones as far as lyrically and the ability and agility to be able to talk about certain things with substance and be able to present a topic and stay on topic instead of getting off of it. I just feel like I'm one of the chosen that God has given a gift to be able to breathe life into music for some people that may be in dark times.
And I gotta say, man, that is absolutely a phenomenal release, and I encourage everybody to make sure they download that and stream it today because you know what, Mizta Sandman is definitely the truth.
Right on, bro. I appreciate you, man. Just trying to get back to what's good with music. You know, a lot of people have fell off on it, and you know, it just needs a lot more people to feel that way and breathe that way. As far as hip hop, it'll be a better place.
But I gotta ask you as well, man. Like, what is next for you? Because I do know you have such an extensive career within the music industry. So I know we only touched on a sliver of your career this evening. But I have to ask you, man, what is next for Mr. Sandman, man? Is there anything I happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? We'll just have you here live on the Canadian airwaves.
Yeah, bro. I'm actually I've been a ghostwriter for a lot of people. I can't speak on certain names because of contractual obligations, but doing some more writing coming up. We're about to start hitting the road as soon as COVID lifts for some touring. Like I say, I got about 13. Me and my guy Dave for excuse me. Me and my guy Dave, we're about to release about 13 tracks, man. The next one is about to pop up within the next 2 weeks. Couple of dance tracks, just a couple of things. We got some videos in the work. We're trying to work on some mini movies. So we're just trying to stay busy and trying to stay consistent with what's going on in the game and create and stay in our own lane. We don't want to cross into nobody else's lane. We just, we just want to do what we do.
And I gotta say, man, it sounds like you most definitely have some phenomenal things in store, man. I wouldn't doubt it, man, that 2021 is definitely your year.
Yeah, hopefully, bro. We gonna try to do that, and that's why we want to get with you because we want to do some other things with you, man. That I don't want to say on air because I don't want nobody to steal the idea. Because DJ Immortal, you save life and breathe life into a lot of West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, down South artists that's really needed, and we thank you and we appreciate you. I'm sure I can speak on a lot of artists that feel the same way.
And I want to say I really appreciate the love, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm sure you know in the music industry you come across a lot of individuals that hate on you and whatnot, man. But hearing stuff like that most definitely fuels me to keep on doing what I do night in and night out and running this station 24/7, man. So thank you for just showing me that love, man. Because that right there is what fuels me to keep going.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. That's ain't no question. And I also got to give you props, big props, on what you just accomplished with everything you did out there in Canada with your business and for the label. I mean, for your station. That's huge, bro. That's huge, and can't nobody ever take nothing from you, bro. Just because of how you represent and what you give us. That's life.
Hey, man, I appreciate the love fully, dude. I really do. I really appreciate that, man. But also, Mista, man, this is the time in the interview quickly, right before I wrap things up, that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Mizta Sandman if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, you can actually follow me on Mizta Sandman at Facebook, Mizta Sandman on Instagram, Mizta Sandman on Twitter. Everything Mizta Sandman, everything. Even the songs, the titles, everything is going to be under that same umbrella. Catch up, follow us, at Masterminds Music on the grind. Music, we just moving. That's what we got to do. We got to move Colorado.
Hey, man, you already know what to do. I gotta say, I appreciate the love again, man. I appreciate you for taking a little bit of your time out of your evening this evening just to come on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It truthfully was an honor and most definitely a privilege, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. That's mandatory for me and you, bro. I'm locked in with you, locked and loaded.
Hey, man, most definitely. Anytime you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We're already connected, so if you need anything, hit me up, bro. I got you.
Got you. Outlaw Radio supporter for life, bro. You know how we get down, DJ Immortal.
Hey, man, I appreciate you fully, brother. But for now, man, most definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in Colorado, man.
Okay, you do the same, bro. And salute to you out there in Canada.
Most definitely. Salute to you as well, man. Thank you so much.
All right, bro.